Welcome back everyone, Mariah Monetize here. In today's video, we're going to be going over the news, what's happening in crypto, what has recently brought the price of Bitcoin down, going to also be going into the price of Bitcoin and where I see things headed in the short term and the long term. So I'm a bit surprised here that we have not seen BlockFi file for bankruptcy yet. I thought for sure by the end of the day yesterday they were going to file for bankruptcy. They still have not filed for bankruptcy today. I think it's highly likely that by the end of the week, we will see BlockFi file for bankruptcy. I think it's quite likely. I don't think that any other companies are going to come in and save BlockFi at this point, but time will tell. So Tom Brady, Steph Curry, Golden State Warriors, and other high-profile celebrities are being sued for endorsing FTX. So now we're just seeing a ton of lawsuits flying back and forth with everything that's happening. Also, SBF was hit with the class action lawsuit that involved Brady, his ex-wife, Shaq, Curry, for a total of $11 billion in damages. The U.S. continues to look to extradite SBF from the Bahamas. So supposedly he is still in the Bahamas. Grayscale came out to say in the wake of the recent events, our investors should know that the safety and security of the holdings underlying Grayscale digital assets products are unaffected. So every time, we see a company with their pants down, everyone, makes an announcement saying, I'm not involved with the man that has his pants down. No, not us. We have no exposure. So that's what we keep on saying. Not crypto related, but interesting. I thought this is very interesting to share. Target says it has lost over $400 million so far this year due to an increase in shoplifting and organized retail crime. Oh gosh, people are shady out there. Let's see. Just in, Luna Foundation guard spent $2.8 billion defending UST Peg, audit reveals. So Genesis Mining is a company, or Genesis Trading, I apologize, is a company that has just paused withdrawals. So Genesis is a global leader in institutional digital asset trading, lending, derivatives, custody, and prime brokerage services. They have halted withdrawals. We recognize how challenging this past week has been due to the impact of the FTX news. At Genesis, we are entirely focused on doing everything we can to serve our clients and navigate this difficult market environment. So breaking, FBI to extradite SBF to the U.S., reported by Daily Mail. It's about time. But I think I don't even know if they're going to arrest him. I wouldn't be that surprised if they did not arrest him. I saw someone say that he was the second largest donor to Biden. Pretty wild. So Genesis, 2.8 billion crypto lending unit has halted withdrawals. I just mentioned that. So CEO Chris Ferraro states that Celsius Network has 12 million net exposure to both FTX and Alameda, including 4 outstanding loans to Alameda. In January 2022, Celsius had 3.6 billion exposure to FTX and Alameda. So this is a 99% reduction from peak exposure in early 2022. And this was stated during the live Celsius hearing. It's unbelievable to think that I feel like I'm more likely to get funds back from my Celsius situation over if I had funds in FTX. So just to clarify, I don't have any funds on FTX, but I feel like I'm more likely to get back funds from Celsius versus FTX, which is quite unbelievable to say. Salt Lending has admitted exposure to FTX and has paused deposits and withdrawals effective immediately. That was reported yesterday. So another lending platform goes down. Have we ever seen a company pause withdrawals and then unpause withdrawals? I can't think of one. Not a single one. SBF plans to refund customers of FTX. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Did you know that so FTX, I believe, has 0 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. 0. People were purchasing fake Bitcoin. Unbelievable. Let's see. Just in, White House asked Congress for $37.7 billion in Ukraine aid. Unbelievable. Jim Cramer This guy, if his voice wasn't annoying enough, he says, love pump, but he put me in a BlockFi. What a little bitch of a victim. Seriously? You're going to blame someone else as if he put a gun to your head and told you to invest in BlockFi? It's disturbing. Like, Jim Cramer should get fired. Nobody respects him. Nobody. Does anyone actually get financial advice from Jim Cramer? I would say everyone that has probably lost money. Just in, U.S. authorities are discussing bringing Sam Bankman-Fried to the United States for questioning, Bloomberg reports. Hopefully that happens. So let's see. The Supreme Court in the Bahamas approves liquidations for FTX official assets. BlockFi reportedly preps for a possible bankruptcy filing and more. I think that, like I said, we are pretty darn close. We're pretty darn close to seeing BlockFi file for bankruptcy. We know that there were the missiles that hit Poland yesterday. It seems like people still really aren't sure if those were accidental, intentional, whether they came from Ukraine or Russia military. So people were kind of freaking out about World War III yesterday, and that's what dropped the prices. So yeah, crypto lender BlockFi is preparing for potential bankruptcy following the FTX collapse, and that was reported by Wall Street Journal. Pretty crazy. You know, I saw this tweet, and I really do think it's a high possibility that Wall Street is going to sweep in and buy up our entire industry for pennies on the dollar. Yeah, that's going to happen because they're going to be the only ones that have money left, and then literally crypto is going to be handed over to Wall Street. Because of all the bad actors, it's just going to be handed over. Maybe that will inflate the price faster. I'm not sure, but I think it's highly probable. So before we get into the price of Bitcoin, I want to share with you guys, I've shared with you guys in the past, Fold app. So I have a link down below. And if you use my link, you actually get 5,000 Satoshis when you sign up. What's really cool about the Fold app is that it's completely free. They do have a Visa debit card available, but it's not necessary. And what's really cool about Fold is that every 20 hours you go in, you spin the wheel, and you can get all sorts of free things, okay? The prizes range dramatically. Sometimes you get 5 Satoshis, sometimes you get 250, sometimes you get 10,000. And it's actually a really cool way to earn Satoshis. It kind of feels like, you have a casino in your hands and you don't really have to pay anything for it. So I have a link down below. And when you sign up, you get free 5,000 free Satoshis. So let's move on here to the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently sitting at $16,583. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the weekly chart. And so weekly chart, not looking all that great. Like I said, Bitcoin needs to hold a low of last week's candle, which is 15,555. I don't think it's going to. I actually think it's pretty likely that this week or next week, Bitcoin is going to break below the low of last week's candle. So once again, I'm looking for that green to cross over the red on the 7-day chart, and we are not close to that at all. This right here is a daily chart, which is giving us nothing. It's still trending in a bearish position. It has not had a momentum shift at all. This is the 12-hour chart here. It looks like the 12-hour chart has made a higher low, but we still need some more confirmation. But it does look like the 12-hour chart might actually start leaning bullish here shortly. 4-hour chart here on Bitcoin. Looking okay, not giving us a ton. I would want to see it hold the low of this candle, which is 16,159, and see if it could hold that. But not a ton of conviction on the 4-hour chart. Hourly chart is looking bearish. So, I mean, we're kind of having mixed signals here across the board, which in my opinion means no, not time to get in. 30-minute chart is not giving us anything. Let's see if the 10-minute chart is. 10-minute chart has made a higher high. Might be a good idea to get in on a short-term entry. Same thing with the 5-minute chart here. We have made a higher high, and we'll see if that will continue. Same thing here on the minute chart. So we have, Ethereum sitting at 12.15. We have Core Scientific taking a big 14% hit today, just under 20 cents. We have gold sitting at $17.73. Coinbase stock down over 10% today at $49.83. We have a Link sitting at $6.21. So mostly across the board in the crypto space, things are down today. And yep, you guessed it, SPY is down today as well. Let's take a look here at the hourly chart on SPY. A bit of a pullback here. It did make a lower low, and we might be seeing a little bit of a cool off. But I think last time we looked at the daily chart on SPY, it was actually looking bullish. So we might see a bit of a pullback here. I would say to maybe like 390 and then maybe to a higher high, but that 200 DMA might be a point of resistance. So want to be cautious there. I've not bought back in on Bitcoin. I am staying patient. And this is the reason why. So when it comes to Bitcoin, let's head over back to Bitcoin. You know, I do not like how Bitcoin has behaved from the bottom. So this right here, if Bitcoin would have bounced hard and continued to the upside, I would have been like, okay, the bottom is in, but it is lingering down here way too much. So, let's go and take a look at the daily chart on Bitcoin when it pretty much bottomed approximately a year after it hit the all-time high of $20,000. So, it kind of reminds me of this, actually. It reminds me of this bottom, and then, it kind of bounced and lingered a little bit in this range, and then it had one more move to the downside. And I think that's what we're going to have next. And when you look at it from like a percentage point, I think it's likely that Bitcoin gets to at least 13,000. But if you look at the low of, it's like 10, it went about 10% lower. If we're kind of comparing this right here, like this area to where Bitcoin currently is, price action wise, and let's say that Bitcoin goes 10% lower. I think it's going to go even lower than that just because of all the market conditions. But let's say it went 10% lower. That would take us to about almost $14,000. So I think that's a more probable scenario. I do not believe that the bottom is in, and that's why I'm staying extremely patient. So that's all I have for you today. Don't forget to check out the link down below for the Fold app. It's actually honestly really fun. I look forward to spinning the wheel every day. It's a bit of a dopamine hit. It's like gets your casino need out of the way for the day. All right, so that's all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love.